So weird.
Of course it is. Skype never gives up.
Uh-huh.
There's got to be a moment where we just say goodbye to Skype. It's just I don't get it. Like, it's kind of like in one of those like loveless kind of relationships. Like even though like there's no love there, you fear that if you leave, that you just might not find something else.
Right.
I feel that's what Skype is for us. Like we become comfortable in our situation, in our environment, and we ventured off and we tried different things, just to lead us right back to Skype.
Yep.
I believe Skype quite possibly could be my longest relationship I've ever had.
Oh, no.
I know.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Honestly, there's a decent chance that I could say same.
Right.
Well, wait. Maybe Twitter or Facebook.
No, come on. I think Skype was definitely before Facebook or Twitter. Well, no, Facebook had to have happened before Skype.
Yeah, right?
Facebook came out in, 2005, I think?
Holy moly. Yeah, Skype. So I definitely didn't have it in 2003, but Skype came out in 2003.
Oh, shit. Okay. So, and then Facebook, I think, was 2005.
I believe you're right. Twitter would have been 2007, I believe.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Skype has that longevity. I think the first time I ever used Skype had to have been 2010, I think. And the only reason I used it is because my girlfriend at the time was on some kind of church retreat to New Orleans, and it was one of the easiest ways to communicate, I guess. I don't understand how phones wouldn't have been easier, but whatever. Video chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I think it was the video chatting app.
Yeah, because phones didn't have video chat back then.
Yeah, and it was good. Remember when it was good?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Good times. Good.
Big part of it was probably not having any expectations for it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was new. I mean, remember when flip phones were cool?
Oh, man. I miss my flip phone.
God, yeah.
I actually still have it, but it doesn't, I mean, I haven't charged it in so long that it's actually probably a fire hazard.
Right. Remember phones with buttons?
Yeah, man. You could text without looking accurately.
God. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember driving down the road and I was able to, it was like, 333 4 555 722 177. It's like, God, no. Now you got these fucking phones where there's no more buttons. It's a keyboard. And my fingers are too big for the fucking keyboard.
Yep.
Can't win. I can't win with technology. So cold open here. Starting the show. Moving right along. We got CJ Standal on tonight. Joe might leave eventually.
Yeah, I might bail partway through.
Yeah.
Gotta maybe pick up my wife.
Right. I like how you say maybe as if there's hope that's not going to have to happen.
Well,
but I know it will happen.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing is that I love her dearly, and I'm not making fun of her for this, but she's really bad at estimating how much time it's going to take to do whatever she has to do. And so when she tells me it's going to be an hour and a half, my gut instinct is to say, okay. And then I know it's going to be like 2 hours. Just,
Right. Yeah. So, you create that buffer.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe it'll be fine, and maybe I'll have to go early, but we'll see.
Either way, like I said, I know I gave CJ a time when to be ready and come on. That way it gives us enough time to kind of talk beforehand. And there's a couple things. Here's the weird thing about talking, like getting like a segment out, because when we originally started doing this, we had like the guests on the entire time. And we kind of got away from doing that, and I'm kind of okay with it, that way, because we don't need CJ to come on here and give us a rundown of every single chapter of every single one of his comics, because we have followed the journey of Rebirth of the Gangster here on this Freakin show. And obviously we're going to be talking about the final chapter of it, which I'm really excited to kind of get some of his inputs and everything on the final chapter of this project. I think it's going to be really cool. I want to get kind of the the emotional side of it more than the actual physically getting the book done. Because like Cinder's thing about like realistically, like we've gone on breaks from this show, but we never officially like ended the show. And I know eventually this show, I don't know how much life this show has. For me, I hope it's fucking forever. Like I really do. I love doing this with you.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that if this show was to ever end, there's not going to be a planned end episode. It's going to be like the last episode that we do is just going to be the last episode we record and send out.
Right.
I just know that's how it's going to be. I know it's going to be the same thing with JFW. It'll be the same thing with everything we have, because there's not like a contractual agreement of X amount of episodes and, it's like, oh, hey, this is the series finale, because we don't know. So there's no reason we'd have to prepare for something like that. With him, this is the final chapter. This is it. This is the end of this project. Now, obviously, he has more projects going on, Beowulf, etc. But I want to know how you, I want to know that feeling that he has coming from the idea, like this is his first project that he pursued this career in, and this is the ending chapter, and this is it. And I'm excited to kind of hear what that is. So he'll come on when he comes on and everything. I'm really excited to talk to him. And obviously it won't be the last time I have him on, because he has more projects coming out that we can always talk with him about. But I want to take an opportunity to talk about some things that we haven't had a chance to talk about, because obviously over the last few weeks we did the mayor debates for Chicago, which the election's coming out next week, the 20th. Yeah, I mean, it's been a week from today. So
yeah, it's been ongoing because of the early voting.
Yeah, so we didn't get a chance to do it last week because my work for the first time got exhausting for me, and having phones dispatching isn't the worst thing in the world, but it was just so stressful and everything. I was just I don't have the motivation to record an episode. Like, I just don't. Even getting through the Monday episode I did for JFW was a struggle in itself. And I was just like, I just had no willpower to do it on fucking Tuesday. And I was like, well, maybe we could do it on fucking Thursday. And I got through Wednesday, and then Thursday I'm just like, I just can't fucking do it.
Yeah, it happens.
Which I'm fine with. But I want to talk a little bit about February, because there's a few things that have gone on in February. We just never really had a chance to talk about it. So I want to do that. But before we get into anything, I want to remind all you guys that this episode of this freaking show is brought to you by CarterComics.com. Your one-stop shop for all your comic needs, whether it be graded or raw. Carter Comics has got it all. Not just on their website at CarterComics.com, but also on their 4 different eBay accounts that they run, do auctions and buy outright negotiations for their comics. They have thousands of titles to choose from. So many titles that they can't even put all of them online right now. So you can check out all of their options, all of their comic books that they have for sale, and you can fill up your cart. You can buy them outright on eBay and stuff. Either way, if you use the promo code, discount code.
God, that's right, it never ends.
It never
ends. A permanent code.
That's right.
As long as Doug wants us.
As long as the checks keep coming. It's a code. Use the discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET. You'll save 10% on your entire order. And if you happen to go check out CarterComics.com and you can't find the comic you're looking for, reach out to them. You can reach out to them through their Facebook page at CarterComics.com, or reach out to them through the website at CarterComics.com. And they'll see if they have it in stock. Like I said, they get comics in so often that they just can't get everything up onto the website right away. They're slowly adding and progressing as they go. But there's so many titles to choose from, they just can't list everything all at once. But they are working on it. So reach out to them, say, hey, I'm looking for this comic. Do you happen to have it? If they do, they might, make it work for you. Tell them that Travis Steer Cartoon Joe sent you over there, and see about their discount. There still is a plan for me and Cartoon Joe to host Carter Comics auction through Facebook Live sometime. I'm thinking this spring, early summer, just hasn't been nailed down yet, but that's still the plan. So hopefully we get that situated and we can get you a set date for that. Because I'm also really excited about that. So CarterComics.com, discount code FREAKNET, FREAKNET, save you 10% on your entire order.
Heck yeah. This Freakin' Show is also brought to you by Audible.com. If you're looking for your next great read, head over to audibletrial.com/freaknet and sign up for a free 30-day trial and a credit towards your first audiobook purchase. That's right, you can pick up any book in their catalog for free, plus a 30-day trial of all the other great benefits that Audible has just by going to audibletrial.com/freaknet and signing up right now.
Perfect.
Thank you. That felt weirdly professional.
Right.
I should say like fart or something. Just
there's a moment where we're gonna have to. I don't know if we have to. I think we're fine doing what we're doing. But like pre-recorded promos. Remember when we used to do that?
Yeah.
And it used to be like in the beginning and ending of when we had like interviews and shit on.
Oh, yeah.
Or Podern Family, when we used to plug other people's podcasts and shit.
Mm-hmm.
History of Bad Ideas, that was always a good one.
Absolutely.
Look how far we come, man.
Doing things live. So fun.
Yeah, nearly 8 years. We gotta do a live soon. We haven't done a live in a while.
That's true. That's true. It's been busy.
It has. February. We haven't talked about it, but obviously Valentine's Day occurred. President's Day. Black History Month.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost said Black Friday.
Yep.
I mean, they're all Black Fridays in February, but Black History Month is this month, and we haven't had an opportunity to kind of acknowledge Black history. So
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I got nothing to continue.
I know. I
have nothing against Black history. I wasn't prepared to talk about it. I did learn, those cool shapes that you see on like wrought iron fences that are like, sometimes they're swirly or they're shaped like hearts or something. Yes. Or like stylized hearts. It turns out that actually a lot of iron workers, in the turn of the century were like descendants of slaves. And those are actually designs from cultures in Africa that have become so popular in wrought iron that it's just ubiquitous. It's not even like tied back to the tribe anymore. But yeah, that's where it originated, which is neat. That was a neat Black history fact I learned today.
That's cool, man. Yeah. I never even thought about that, but that's awesome.
No, me either. I'm just like, if I were doing metalwork, I would make swirly shapes.
Oh yeah, you gotta have some kind of good design at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was I wish I remember what the movie was. But I think we talked about it last February. It was about the it was about the black women in NASA.
Oh yeah, the Hidden Figures?
Hidden Figures, yeah. There was a scene in that movie. It actually popped up on TikTok quite often this month, and I think it's a very powerful scene. And I know for a fact I talked about it on this show because it still gives me like a kind of like goosebumps chill kind of feel. When one of the girls who gets brought up to do like the math and the calculations for the project, I think it was the moon landing, or it was just maybe just getting to outer space itself. But obviously she was the only black woman who was part of that group. And even in NASA, like it was back in that day, they were segregated bathrooms and shit. And in order for her to go to the bathroom, she had to run across campus in order to use the bathrooms and their certain building or whatever. And there's bikes you could use to get through campus, but she couldn't use one because it's for whites only and all sort of stuff. And to the point where, who's the guy that's in that?
Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner. Awesome actor, by the way. Shout out Kevin Costner.
Oh yeah. He's one of the only reasons I know his name.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Such a good fucking actor. Finally just snapped on her because she's gone for like 30, 40 minutes like at a time and everything, and she just blew up how she didn't have a bathroom to use. She couldn't use the proper dress code of wearing pearls because she couldn't afford it because they don't pay enough, and couldn't use the bikes and all that stuff, and it's raining and all, and, using a different coffee pot, and he took a crowbar and knocked off the sign. I think it was a whites only sign in the hallway there.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was either whites only or black only, but I think it was whites only. He just knocked it down, tore it off, and said no more, white bathrooms. And I think it's powerful. I love, and the only reason I watched that movie was because of the movie 42 about Jackie Robinson. Because it is, and it's kind of true, like, unless you look into it yourself. And obviously we were taught, black history in school.
Right.
Growing up. But, like, they focused a lot on, like, Martin Luther King, George Washington Carver, oh, God.
That's basically it.
Yeah. Frederick Douglass.
Right. Oh, yeah. You got to get Frederick Douglass.
Yeah. But they never really talked about, other figures that, and nothing against the guy who created the peanut butter, nothing against, the guy who created or started or inspired, the March on Washington or anything like that. But Jackie Robinson, it was impactful to me because I love baseball. And, him being the first African American in baseball, and it opened the door for other baseball players to come, like Satchel Paige, who could have been one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the MLB, except because he was an African American guy and couldn't play in the MLB until late. I think he was like late 30s, early 40s before he ever even got into the major leagues. But if he was able to play back then at an earlier age, he probably would have been the greatest pitcher ever. But Hidden Figures was one of those two that, it's just like you never heard about that. You were never taught that in school.
Right.
And I think that is a shame. Like, I do believe there needs to be a black history discussion in all public schools. I know they got, in colleges and stuff, they got, those certain classes or whatever the hell they're called.
Are you talking about, like, the critical race theory that they teach for, like, lawyers and shit?
No, like African studies, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's just like I do believe that it is. I don't remember last time I took a history class in college. I don't remember last time I passed a fucking history class in college. I don't know how ingrained that type of history is in that study, but I do believe that even if it's the month of February itself or whatever it is to have, that time to, educate people on the lesser known African American people in black history, like Hidden Figures, Jackie Robinson, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, we don't really talk about it. I think, and for me personally, and, I'm only speaking for myself, I'm not speaking for Joe. I think the biggest reason we don't talk a lot about black history on here during the month of February is because I think it's weird for two white guys to do it. That's
a big part of it, yeah.
Yeah. But it still needs to be acknowledged, and I figure, we definitely should acknowledge it. But also Valentine's Day happened last week, and because we didn't get a chance to get together and talk about that, Joe, how was your Valentine's? Did you and your wife do anything for Valentine's Day?
I don't think we did anything for Valentine's Day. I am trying to remember. We kind of both got up and were like, "Oh yeah, I guess it's Valentine's Day. Do you want to do anything?" And we were like, "It's Tuesday."
Yeah.
No, not really.
Yeah,
so it's a struggle. I mean, I think we both said Happy Valentine's Day to each other, but beyond that, I was just kind of like,
So you guys
maybe I bought her pizza.
Was it a heart-shaped pizza?
No, it was just something from Domino's.
Oh, yeah, you motherfucker. You fucked up.
I know. But she's been working a lot of hours lately, like 50, 60-hour weeks on the low end. So
yeah,
I figured neither of us wanted to cook that day, so I'd just swing through and get something.
Yeah, there was a conversation I had with a friend of mine on Instagram. I think it was like last Thursday, maybe. I wish her happy Valentine's Day because she has a significant other that she gets to spend that day with. Excuse me. And she asked me how mine was, and I told her it was, it was anticlimactic because I don't have anyone to celebrate Valentine's Day with. And she was telling me, like, oh, well, you give cards to friends and pets and family and stuff like that. And it's like, realistically, from my perspective, that's not what Valentine's Day is. It's not for a day of, giving cards to pets.
Right.
Or, Mother's Day, I'll give flowers to my mom. I don't need to give her flowers on Valentine's Day or sending, gifts to my friends and shit, because that's not what it's for. For me, I believe it's honestly to be with the person that you care the deepest about, that you share that connection with. And I don't see a need to, do that. And she thought, I guess she thought it was kind of weird for me to think that way. But I mean, realistically, the whole point of Valentine's Day is to be with somebody. And I just I don't know, Joe, but from all the people that I've talked to who are with people, 75% of them just say, yeah, we really didn't do anything. Yeah. So it worries me.
I haven't, I don't know. I mean, I hate to still talk about COVID, but I feel like with COVID, holidays have stopped feeling like holidays. And so it's really hard to be like, I'm with you every day. Every day is special. How do I make this one day extra special? It's just not,
But don't you feel, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, Joe. I don't know if your wife listens to this show, but don't you feel, after 3 years of pandemic, the times that we struggled through, the unjoyous holidays and stuff, that it's time to revive the feeling that holidays are supposed to bring us? Like, you guys, I mean, for example, I'm not saying you had to go out, but, a nice dinner at home, making a nice meal, picking up some flowers and stuff, right?
Would have been great.
Right? Yeah. I don't see us as a society, per se, reviving the feelings that holidays bring us anymore. I think it's up to us to do it independently or with the person we care about. And not just Valentine's Day, all of them. Easter, Memorial Day, fucking Arbor Day, Flag Day.
Yeah. I feel like I agree with you. I just, it used to be something that was, it was unconscious, right? You didn't think about like, oh, this is a holiday, we got to make it special. It was just special. And now it's like it's work to make it special. And so it's just like getting back into the habit, I guess.
Do you feel that comes with marriage? That feels like work?
What's that?
Yes. Yeah, working to make holidays special. Is that a marriage thing? Or is that a pandemic thing still?
I don't know. Because we will have been married 8 years in July.
I still can't believe it's that long, man.
Yeah, me either.
And you're together, what, like 5 or 6 years before you got married?
Yes, I think 7.
Yeah, man.
No, it would have been 5 or 6. Let's see, we would have been married in 2015. So, we would have gotten...
Yeah, I'm just trying to...
In 2010, we got together, numbers, so 5, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to throw out logical numbers. I ballparked some odd numbers.
Yeah, no, you were right, though.
But you ever notice that? I don't know if you ever noticed that with me before. Whenever I guesstimate fucking numbers and dates and stuff, they're always odds. 11 or 13, 15 or 17. Yeah, I don't do it, has it been like 5, 10 years or, 7, 8 years? No, I go like 5 or 9, give myself a buffer, a window. Yeah. Always odd numbers. Big fan of odd numbers. Number 27, my favorite number.
Nice.
Can't explain it. But, no, I just feel like, there's a lot of people, and nothing against, the married and the relationship people who just feel like Valentine's Day is another day. That's fine. I mean, you guys live your lives the way you can, but it bothers me because Valentine's Day is one of my favorite holidays, and it sucks I never get to celebrate with somebody. In my entire life, I have probably, let's say I don't want to call it a real relationship because I was 12 years old. But the earliest relationship that I could recall of something that I know I had feelings for. Like a like feeling. I'm not going to say love. Again, 12 years old, but a like feeling was 12 years old. So we're looking at now 21 years of life. That from my like to love feelings and whatever. I have probably celebrated a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 true Valentine's Day with a significant other. And those are my happiest holidays that I can recall in a relationship. It's not Christmas. Christmas is family. You know, the person I'm with, I do consider family at the holidays. Push that aside. Thanksgiving, not so much. It is what it is. Family again. But Valentine's Day is like, I mean, to me, that was more than fucking anniversaries and shit. It was just because that was the special day that was put in place for loved ones. Cupid, hearts, candy, flowers, the whole fucking thing. And I love Valentine's Day because I'm a love kind of person.
Nice.
And it saddens me when I talk to people and they say, I ask them like, hey, how was your Valentine's Day? And they're like, oh, well, no, we don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. It's like, that sucks. It sucks because they have something I want. There's something that they could do that I would love to do. And it's squandered. I'm sorry. So I encourage you, Joe, please, February 14th, 2024, make it magical. Don't do it for you,
but I'll try.
Don't do it for you or your wife. Do it for me.
Do it for you.
Do it for me.
Yeah, you'll have to remind me, but I will try.
Oh, I'm going to remind you, brother. I'll remind you the episode of the week before Valentine's Day. Because I want you to go all out. You have a bow tie. I want you to wear your best one. I want you to put on a nice suit jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to make a candlelit dinner of I don't know, eggplant or whatever vegans eat. Mm-hmm. Tofu. Get some nice fresh cut flowers, either garden variety or roses. Either one, your pick, your call.
Yeah.
Put up some candles. Put on some non-lyric, instrumental only, soft music, and I want you to make an evening of it. Because it's not because I believe your wife deserves it, but I think because you both deserve it.
Well, thanks. I will seriously consider that.
Excellent. So, speaking of which is, I mean, obviously it's a few months away and everything, but is there plans for the anniversary?
I don't think there are yet. No.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You should go
camping. It's just one of those, I think when we get to our 10th, that'll be a big one.
Yeah. But, hey, Joe, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I don't mean to, move on from our conversation that we're talking about right now. If I say, hey, let's go camping this summer, you in?
Yeah.
I want to go camping so bad, but I can't find anyone to go camping with.
Same. I love camping. It's one of my all-time favorite things.
Right? I 100% want to go camping. And we can do it, in the middle of the week where, it doesn't interfere with your job and I can take vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? No, just go camping. I think that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love it.
I should probably see if CJ's even on yet. I haven't got a message or I haven't seen anything. I can't believe how many different chats I have fucking open that date back all the way to fucking 2017. Holy hell! When was the last time CJ was on? It was sometime last year, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I should really go through these and see how many. There's so many chats over them. It's insane. Babes of Lore, James Dermond.
See, mine. Well, and I change accounts sometimes by accident, so mine goes back to 2017.
Yeah, mine go back. I think this is the same one that I used. There's 2016, 2015. November 4th of 2015. I guess the most recent one I have is when we had Geekcast Ryan.
Wow.
Holy hell, God. I don't know what the hell that is. There's F and Epic the first time. There's just so many of them to think. It's just this Colin, Geekcast Joe. Okay, I gotta see where, oh, here it is. Awesome. He just, while we're doing this, he's like, I'm ready for the recording. So, let's see here. I don't want to do that because I feel like I'm going to screw something up. This is the one thing I hate about my relationship with Skype because I don't know what I can or can't do without screwing this up. So let's add participant. I'm going to go CJ and chatted over a year ago. It's nuts. Let's add him. Let's see what happens. Worst case scenario, we screw it up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He just doesn't come on.
Right.
It's like, yes, how are you doing?
There we
Good.
are.
Oh, we're so glad. I was, we were wondering whether or not you were on, ready to go, and I was just about to say, he's not going to show up at all for revenge for not answering his emails.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Gotcha.
I'm glad it worked out.
Excellent. CJ,
I'm bad at answering emails.
Yeah. CJ, I'm going to let you know that we're rolling right into the show, so this is it.
Sounds good.
So you don't got to profess your love to me because people want to know that. But how have you been, man? It's been I think it's been almost a year. No, it couldn't have been a year since we had you on last, but that's what Skype is telling me.
I think it's been a year. It's been pretty good. I mean, I've done definitely some stuff writing. I finished Rebirth of the Gangster, which is, I mean, technically it's coming out May 1st, but the last single issue of that came out a couple months ago. I finished the second story arc for my Beowulf comic, that modern day mashup of Beowulf and Lovecraftian horror. Other than that, kind of working at my day job and just kind of trying to survive this Midwest with winter. How about you guys?
Winter has been brutal, and here's the thing too, is because you're I don't know if this is giving anything away, but you're up in Wisconsin, correct?
Yep, I am. I'm in Madison.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with my job, I dispatch people out to do work on a consistent basis, and we have sent so many guys up to Wisconsin almost like every other day, and it's weird because when they come down and they're talking about oh, it took me a little bit longer because the roads are so bad and the snow's coming down. But yet in, Illinois, it hasn't really hit yet. So I'm saying I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about. I see grass on the ground right now. But up by, Green Bay, Jones Island, Milwaukee, Madison area, they just get the bad weather, And I think a lot of that you have to blame on Minnesota.
Yep. That's actually where I grew up. Born and raised in Minnesota, so I'm fine blaming them.
Right. Yeah. Well, CJ, obviously, the big thing we have you on for is because we want to talk about the final story of Rebirth of a Gangster, which I'm excited to because as we were mentioning before you came on, is we've kind of been here through the entire journey that you had with this book.
Yeah, you're the OG crew. I mean, I'm pretty sure you were the first podcast I was on, and you've been with me through it all. So, I mean, I've always been appreciative of that. And yeah, it's definitely nice to kind of come full circle for the Rebirth of the Gangster part of this journey.
Right, and that's the thing too, because we're looking at 2016. I think was the first time you were on.
I think so, yeah. So I've been working on Rebirth of the Gangster for, I guess, about 8 years from the initial idea. But yeah, I think I started releasing them about 7 years ago.
Yeah, so it's nuts and it's stupid on my part because in my mind I keep saying Rebirth of a Gangster, but it's Rebirth of the Gangster. And you would think that I would learn that by now.
I do stuff like that all the time, so I totally get it.
But just a quick recap. Obviously, for the listeners that have been here through the long haul and everything, a lot of our newer listeners may not know much about the story of Rebirth of the Gangster. Brief synopsis, just kind of want to tell everyone what the story is about or has been about.
Yeah, I can do that. So, I mean, before the synopsis, I do like to kind of pitch it as it's kind of like The Godfather meets The Wire meets Breaking Bad. It's just kind of like a neo-noir just journey. And it's essentially the story of the criminal confrontations and family legacies between the Anderson and Thompson families. Specifically, it follows Marcus Thompson and Hunter Anderson, who are the sons of these parental units who did some criminal activities in the past, and now these sons who grew up their whole life not knowing anything about this are about to get a wake-up call and be kind of brought into this criminal world as they're brought into a revenge scheme stemming from their parents' actions.
Excellent. Yeah, so one of the questions I mentioned, Joe, I wanted to get this answer out of the way first because this is the one I'm most excited about asking. Because I like to hype myself up. Huge pro wrestling fan, so I like to mark out to my own shit. But this story, this book, this creation this is where it all began for you. This is the beginning of your creating stories.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So how does it feel knowing that this one is finally coming to an end?
It's kind of a bittersweet feeling. And I will even say, like, it doesn't quite completely feel like it's really at an end yet because it's not technically released yet. And actually in a year or a couple years, I'll be releasing like a full volume of the all acts 1 through 4 complete in one print volume. Yeah. But I guess, yeah, it's a bittersweet thing. I definitely I kind of look back and I've just kind of seen the growth that I've had. So there's definitely a lot of pride, I think, on my part in just kind of how I've improved as a writer over the course of Rebirth the Gangster. I think the most recent volume really kind of moves at a quicker pace and just is even more purposeful than I already was, which I think I was being pretty purposeful to begin with. But I think I've just kind of streamlined it, especially by the 4th volume. So it's definitely, I'm very proud of that. I'm definitely a little sad to kind of be done with this journey or this part of my writing and creative journey, just because it's what I kind of started things with. And so it's kind of the end of an era. And just the end of kind of like, just a part of my life. So there's definitely kind of that sadness there. But I will say that I think, and I'm sure many creators would mention something about this, but like, I guess I feel like it's more been kind of reflecting on and being appreciative of the process is really kind of where I've been kind of trying to dwell. I guess like the fact that I'm done with Rebirth the Gangster doesn't feel like I'm necessarily done with like anything really. I guess I'm like kind of chomping at the bit to keep doing other things. And so, yeah, I'm done with this chapter of my writing, but I guess because I've kind of delved more into the process and invested more in that, as opposed to kind of like a product or like a goal outcome, I think I've been able to kind of just enjoy the journey as it's been going on. But then that kind of does create, I guess, a little distance at the end, because that wasn't, I guess, as I evolved as a writer, creator, that wasn't really my goal, was like just this product. It was more just about the process and becoming better as a writer, as a creator, as a marketer, all that type of stuff. And so I think that the more that I've invested in myself in the process, finishing this just feels like, oh, I finished a step in the process. I haven't finished like this big thing, even though it is, it's like a 600-page kind of tome. And so it is a big deal, but I do think kind of the more that I've shifted to being really more process focused, and just investing on myself as like a writer of all things, it doesn't feel like, I guess, as big of an ending as as like you kind of are making it out to be. And everybody that I talk to when I've like just brought this up, they do kind of get like that, oh yeah, it's like such a big deal, how does it feel? And again, it's like all those emotions I just described, but I guess it again doesn't quite feel as like big of a deal as they think, and even I would have thought when I first started this series.
Yeah, because I'm not a father of any sorts. I have a dog. But that's a pet. But I guess if to the right person or to somebody, it's very relatable to like seeing your first child go off to college.
Yeah,
like,
it is something like that. I mean, I think it's like child is something you create, like a being you create, and I guess this is for at least somebody like me who I'm not going to be having kids. Just that this is kind of one of the closest equivalents. I've had pets also. That's another, not equivalent, but it's another similarity. But yeah, it is definitely an interesting thing to kind of like, it's like I've raised it and now it's going to be just out in the world and kind of out of my control, kind of like when a kid leaves home, I'm sure.
Exactly, right? Let me look at Joe. Joe's a wild young kid.
A wild young kid?
A wild young kid. Like 31, but whatever. So
going to bed at 9:30, getting up at 5.
I do the same thing, but you're younger than me, so that's definitely something nice.
Right. Joe's what we like to call a whippersnapper. So how many books are in this series?
So there are 4 graphic novels. Yeah. I did do a variant cover for the first one, so when people are looking online, they'll see like there are 5 volumes, kind of, but they're really only 4 total volumes. There are just two editions of Act 1. And those compile, I had released these issues digitally at first, so each trade has, or graphic novel has 6 issues, so it's a 24-issue series.
Gotcha. Now, was 24 always the plan, or did you have like an idea of how you wanted to complete it, but all of a sudden you had more ideas that it just grew from that point, or was from the very beginning, it's like, I'm going to create this story. Here's my arc. It's going to have 24 issues and this is it. Or was there a moment where, like, let's say you got to maybe issue 13 or whatever it was, and you say, oh, you know what? We could also add this into the story and help build that arc more. Because I'm not a writer. I've tried it. I'm not good at it. I could barely, leave a note saying, right into the store. But like, how did it work for you when you first started creating this idea for this story?
Sure. So it's actually in some ways a little bit of both sides of what you just said. So I did actually, when I initially planned it out, I did plan out 24 issues, and I had a very kind of broad strokes outline for each of those issues. But then I guess the other part of what you were saying kind of comes into play, that as I was writing, there were definitely things that started interesting me more as I was writing than maybe when I had first outlined it, or just I thought of new things as I was writing. So I definitely started adding things, and even to a degree trimming or cutting some things out that I had initially planned based off of just the way the series was going for me. But it did always I had always intended to have 24 issues for graphic novels. I as I wrote the last few issues, I did kind of adjust the page count a little bit just to make it work for what that scene or that chapter needed to have. So I did kind of become much more flexible as I wrote the series, but I did always have that intention of like 24 chapters essentially.
I gotcha. Awesome. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, we've been talking about this story pretty much since the creation of this freaking show. Like, I want to say, I think you're on probably sometime in 2016, because I know it was very early in the process of this, and you've been the second most return guest we have on. The other one was a podcaster of ours who huge into books and everything too. I believe he's also looked at some of your digital copies.
Oh, nice.
Of your story. I'm really happy to see how this progressed and everything. And one of the biggest parts, because obviously the story is amazing. I recommend anyone who's into comics and series and stuff, I definitely recommend looking into it, because the stories are amazing, but the artwork that you have is also phenomenally done. I think you found the right people to create this, the drawings, I think, really capture the words that you put into the story.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's actually just all Juan Romero. He's a solo art team himself, and he's just he was phenomenal from the get-go, but I also think he's just improved so much over the course of these last 7-8 years. And he just was a perfect fit from the get-go and became even more of a perfect fit just because of his ability to kind of play with the shadows and the contrast between dark and light, which is definitely essential in a black and white comic, essential in kind of a noir story. But he also does a really good job with action, with suspense, with making characters act, since there is no internal dialogue, internal captions, there's no thought balloons, which was definitely intentional. He does a great job of making characters act, and that's definitely a huge part of the series. And with any other artists, I think it would have been lesser. So yeah, I appreciate the compliments to Juan. I'm sure he appreciates it too.
Yeah, I mean, he did phenomenal, and it's not me blowing smoke up his ass. It's just how really good it is. I mean, from the cover art to every page, and that's one thing, because I'm not good at drawing whatsoever.
Oh,
but what's amazing is, like, from 2016 up to 2022 was when the most recent one came out, 2023. Yep. It's awesome how consistent he stays with the artwork. Like, it's not like, like your characters look different, even though it's been 7 years since, one person, through the drawing the evolution. And I think that's incredible. And I also love, like I said, you have a certain style of writing that I absolutely love too. The noir, how you keep talking about noir, I think that's terrific. And I think that's unique. And I love that you had the opportunity to do that into this story.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's definitely very influenced by, I'd mentioned those TV shows kind of at the top of this, but also just I've read a lot of kind of classic noir fiction like Hammett, Chandler, all that stuff. But then, I mean, we're talking comics. We can't really talk about noir generally without mentioning people like Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, Brian Azzarello, Eduardo Russo. Things like even like European comics, like the Alex Sinner comics, stuff like that. And just, I know that I've been heavily influenced by all of these different, works. And then hopefully I kind of threw my own personal twist on it and kind of focused on some of my own concerns. Even though this is the story itself is definitely not very, similar to anything in my life, there are definitely some concerns that are definitely close to home for me. So that's I try to kind of find those things I'm passionate about and kind of make things that kind of appeal to both fans of the original kind of influences, but then also something that's truly new and me.
Yeah, well, and one thing I kind of noticed in like let's say pop culture is that vintage ideas, vintage concepts are becoming like a little more popular this day and age, and it's cool how you're able to take like a classic idea and bring it into like the modern world.
Yeah, thank you.
And like I said, I'm excited. Like when Joe said, CJ emailed me, he wants to get back on the show. I'm like, absolutely. Like I want to get you on, because especially if this is the end of Rebirth of the Gangsters, like this, like I said, full circle. We're there at the beginning, we're here at the end and everything. And I'm excited for the release. And you said the release was in May, correct?
It is in May. I do have printed copies. I have like a limited edition print run that I've been bringing to conventions that I've been going to, just so that I can kind of start kind of spreading the word, I guess, a little bit earlier, but also just, I mean, I love in-person events. I love conventions. And so I always try to kind of provide something a little special to those who can make it out there and talk to me in person and all that stuff. So I've already kind of been slinging some Act 4 across the Midwest so far. But yeah, it's officially going to be on sale May 1st, or it's officially releasing May 1st. It actually is available for pre-order. Pretty much anywhere. If you're looking for digital copies, it would be only available for pre-order really on Amazon or Comixology. But print editions are available really anywhere for pre-order.
Yeah. Well, and that's something I believe that me and Joe disagree on, where I'm more of like, I love having a physical copy of something. Joe's a little more digital. Which I guess because he loves having like 50,000 books in like one hand.
Yep. I get both of those perspectives. Sorry, Joe.
Yeah.
Not at all.
But I love how you're not just focused on digital copies, that you have the hard copies. I think that's incredible. And the idea that you're gonna, I believe you said, I don't want to, misquote you. You said next year everything may come out as one.
Yeah, so I don't have any sort of official date.
Yeah.
But I do have, I've kind of done I've done the process of creating the pages and all that stuff for the final volume, which would compile all of them together. There's not that many things to change, but just some slight differences in like the issue chapter titles, some things at the beginning of the series itself, or the book itself. So it's pretty much all said and done. I don't want to release it too quickly, just because I don't want to steal the thunder from Act 4 as its own thing. Oh, yeah. But I do have it kind of set up, and it's just kind of, to be honest, it's kind of, I'm waiting to see how Act 4 kind of releases, and then gauging the timeline based off of that. And then there is another factor that might influence that, which I'll get into in a quick second. I do want to just quickly go back to the digital versus print kind of thing you had mentioned. I do definitely appreciate print much better, especially with comics. But like you, Joe, I do actually do a lot of digital reading too. So I'm somebody who does both, and so that's, I think, why I try to kind of appeal to both.
Yep, same.
But back to that kind of that drop-in that I had mentioned, the other thing that might influence the timing of the complete collection of the Rebirth of the Gangster, and this is This Freakin' Show exclusive, which you've had a lot of those, but I have had a shopping option from a screenwriter to turn it into a movie, and so we're kind of in the process of creating a screenplay. When I say we're in the process of creating a screenplay, he's really going to be the one writing it, and kind of I'll just be giving feedback about it. We've already talked about kind of our approach and how some things will be changed from the comic to the movie. But that's definitely awesome. Some exciting news.
That's so cool.
Yeah, thanks. So it's a 15-month shopping option. So there's nothing that's really like right about to happen, but it's definitely something that hopefully can gain some traction, and that could influence the timing of when the complete collection will be releasing. Because of course, if a movie's coming out or something like that, it might make sense to release the complete collection around the same time.
Gotcha. Now, obviously, you said you're still shopping and nothing's been set in stone and official, but I pray to God that if the movie is made, that you're going to stay as true to the story as possible.
Yep, we are going to stay true. The thing we have talked about is for Act 1 and Act 2, kind of trimming some of those things there just so we can get things moving a little quicker. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, trying to maintain the thematic, the tone, the character moments that really were established in Act 1 and 2, just because I think, especially then, we were really getting a feel for the characters and just kind of setting that tone. And the plot was moving a little bit slower than maybe, again, would be ideal in a movie. Mm-hmm. So we are going to do some things to kind of streamline that a little bit, make it move a little faster, while at the same time really kind of maintaining that solid character focus and emphasis on tone and style too.
Well, and that was one of the cool things that you did too. Is like in the beginning, like when you started releasing I want to say maybe the first act, but at least the first volumes in the first book, was introducing the character. You know, you're telling the stories of the person as you move forward, and then eventually rolling into them getting all together.
Yep, yeah, I was really trying to establish the characters at first, so that any plot, any story event had more meaning and more just stakes, really, because we cared about and knew the characters.
Right, yeah, exactly, because you want to get that what is that called when you talk about the beginning of somebody's life? It's not anthology. What is that called? Epilogue? I can't remember.
Origin? Prelude?
Yep. Thank you, Joe. I was waiting for you to dive in and save my ass. Jeez, man.
I was thinking. I was trying to figure out what you were looking for.
Yeah, you want their origin story, and I think that's what's really cool. I mean, you see it with Marvel all the time. It's like a lot of these new characters, you learn where they come from, and I think that's what made the story even better, because you get so invested in even smaller details about the characters. Not just like, here's a guy, this is his job. No, it's more in depth than that, and I think that's what you caught through your writing, through the details in the story that you were telling, and even in the pictures that were shown. Because, I'm sure it's weird to say, for you guys being, book guys, maybe not so much, but to grasp the emotion out of the drawing, not, it blended so well with the words, and I thought that was really cool. I mean, because you get that emotion out of it.
Thank you. Yeah, I really can't say enough just about how seamless this collaboration with Juan has been, just so that, like you're talking about, just the images and the way he's portraying it is adding that layer of emotion that I'm also, adding with some of the plot points and the story itself, but we're kind of reinforcing each other through that. And you had mentioned kind of the origin and just kind of their backgrounds, and that's a big part of Rebirth of the Gangster, is how our past affects our past, but also our family's past, the past of those around us, how that affects our present and our future. And so it's kind of just to jump in without any of that information kind of given, without any of that, the characters' lives beforehand, kind of being part of the story, that would seem a little counterintuitive. So we are kind of looking to ways to still maintain that focus on these characters' backstories, while also maybe jumping into some things a little earlier. Like, I know one of the ideas we've talked about is in the first issue of the first volume. At the end of that issue, there's the robbery where Hunter and Marcus kind of meet each other for the first time, though they don't know it's each other. And we're planning kind of on, one of the ideas is to start with that robbery and then kind of do some kind of backtracking from there, just so we can kind of get things moving a little quicker, and then we can kind of really jump into these characters' backstories, and then this event has more meaning, and then we can really, again, really expand on those characters, and then it starts to make these events in their lives have more stakes and more meaning to the viewer, the reader, all that stuff.
That's perfect. Yeah. When I first started podcasting, I told this to Joe, like, whenever I get guests on and they talk about the content they've created, comic creators, movie creators, musicians, stuff, I want to be able to collect so much, of their stuff that they have created, because I finally put my office together, and I got shelves that need things on it. So I'm excited for the final book to come out, complete the set, so I have everything. I can sit here and think to myself, like, I've had discussions with the creator of this book, and it would just make me feel better, and I'm really excited about that. If other people wanted to do what I was doing and purchase these books, where can they go and get them?
Sure. So, I mean, if you even just type in CJ Standal on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, stuff like that, you can find them. You can also go to my website, cjstandalproductions.com, and there is a tab there that kind of takes you to some of the more common places to buy any of these, whether you want to buy them in print, in digital, and even we haven't really mentioned much of my prose book, nonfiction book, Outside the Panels, but I also have an audiobook version of that, so there's even like links to where you can find it on Audible, stuff like that. So really anywhere selling books, but also cjstandalproductions.com would be the kind of the one-stop shop that would have it all.
Yeah, talk to me about Outside the Panels, because I did see that was a 2020 it came out.
Yeah, it
came out about that.
So it's a collection of a bunch of essays and articles I've written for various comic websites. Graphic Policy is the main one that I've written for, and that's where many of those articles came from. But it's kind of divided into three sections: comics, the classroom, and the creative life. The comics section really just focuses on things I've written that are appreciations for certain comics that have influenced me a lot as I've grown up, like Starman, James Robinson's Starman. There are also essays, articles about like historical aspects of comics. There's actually an essay about kind of World War II and nonfiction / informational comics, and kind of the rise of that, especially as kind of like spearheaded by Eisner, and that actually is inspired me to create. I'm actually in the middle of a book called Comics Tell the Truth, which is actually going to be looking at the history of informational and nonfiction comics across the history of the United States. So that's kind of the comics section, and then there's the classroom section, which I write about. Before I kind of switched some jobs, I used to be a high school English teacher, and I created and taught a graphic novel classroom for the last 3 years that I was teaching at that high school. And so I kind of reflect on just the process of creating it, the process of getting it approved by the school board and all that stuff, but then maybe more importantly, the process of teaching it, how it differed from teaching other things, and also just what I learned about the comic creation and just like how comics are received by, I guess, just people who aren't as into comics as maybe you two or me, that I write about that. And then the final section is the creative life, where I kind of take you behind the scenes of how I created Rebirth the Gangster, how I went from like the idea to the outline to the script to finding Juan to collaborating effectively with him, running a Kickstarter, all that type of stuff. And in that section, you can actually see that original 24, or the outline where I like do have the 24 issue by issue breakdown, for Rebirth the Gangster as a series. So it's kind of interesting. I haven't looked at it in maybe a year or something like that, but even when I looked at it last year, it was interesting to see, where my outline was right on the money, but then also where I kind of diverged from it.
Yeah. Joe, you ready for this?
Nice.
You ready for this, Joe?
Am I ready for what? What?
Outside the Panels by CJ Standal is available on Audible.
Yep.
Oh, fantastic.
It's also narrated by me. First like audio production, so there are some rough spots, but it's definitely I guess I'm always a fan of getting kind of like the text from the author themselves, and just being able to hear the voice as they expected it to be read. So that's another kind of cool benefit. So when it popped up and everything, I looked like narrated. I'm like, thank God, because like I get like some like fantasy stories and stuff like that. You don't necessarily need the author's voice, but when you get like autobiographies that are read by somebody completely who the story isn't about, it just ruins it. Right, I agree completely.
But that's really awesome. We know you. Rebirth of the Gangster is wrapping up here in May. You got Beowulf. How's that going?
So we are in this spring here. We're going to be releasing the second volume in that series. So the first one was the Shadow over Innsmarch, which was kind of this relatively self-contained story about this journalist investigating a bunch of mysterious disappearances on an island that resemble disappearances from the same island from 100 years ago and finding a supernatural connection. Mm-hmm. Her story continues in The Haunting of Chinatown with a new investigation. So there is a subplot running through this series that will kind of culminate in like the final battle kind of at the end of this series. But I also am kind of I've been trying with this series to do something a little different from Rebirth of the Gangster, where each kind of print edition, each story arc can be read by itself, enjoyed by itself, regardless of whether they've read previous ones, regardless of whether somebody's going to keep reading or not. They can read it and kind of just have a solid self-contained story there. Kind of going back to classic comic episodic storytelling, where there's the main plot A in this story, and then there's maybe like some subplot going beneath that, but the main focus is on plot A, the main story. And that's definitely different from Rebirth of the Gangster, which was this long story where it was the whole thing is this big story that is kind of this epic in scope. And I do think it needed to be that way, but I was definitely looking to kind of just stretch my creative muscles and just do something different, because if I do the same thing over and over, I get a little bored.
Oh, absolutely. For the future now of CJ Standal, creation of comics and everything, is there the idea for the next project, or is Beowulf going to be the focal point for a little bit here?
So I actually I've done a rough outline for like an original graphic novel series that I've even written maybe 20 pages of a script to, and that's actually going to be kind of completely different from all this other stuff. It's actually going to be kind of my love letters to superheroes and kind of the superhero story that I want to tell. This one will actually, I'm talking about it being an original graphic novel. It is something where I'm going to get the script completely done, get some revisions, all that done, and then find artists, all that stuff, as opposed to kind of Rebirth of the Gangster, where we were doing more episodic. And part of the reason for that is that this is going to be a much bigger undertaking, where I will have to be having many, many different artists, just because of the nature of the story. There are going to be different styles, kind of styles that I want to emulate a lot of kind of the great runs and just the great kind of eras of comics in the past. So I'll have I'll kind of be looking for artists to be like the John Romita senior version of Spider-Man, kind of taking that feel to a certain like story within this original graphic novel, and just kind of so on and so forth. And so it's a little bit more of an undertaking, and when you have that many kind of artists and just, I guess this big of a story in scope, it's just something that I want to be a little bit more purposeful and kind of, even, I guess, slower in some sense in the way that I produce it, at least initially, so that we really kind of I can release a final product that is kind of everything I envisioned it to be, and really kind of is able to work with many different artists, conflicting schedules, stuff like that will be able to take a little more time to be able to really kind of get the right artists, get the right feel, and get the story done the way I want it to be.
Excellent. Well, I'm excited to get the final book of Rebirth of the Gangster coming out in May. I'm excited to see where Beowulf goes, and I'm excited to see any future projects that you're creating. Huge fan of Superman, superheroes, not just Superman, superheroes. So, I mean, everything you create, I've been a huge fan of, and I'm sure anything in the future that you create, I look forward to seeing it. And I look forward to you coming back on the show to talk about it. You're always welcome here. Open door. Just reach out to us. Let us know when the next thing happens. You're more than welcome to come back. Before we finish up here, just quick recap. Remind everyone where they can purchase your books, your novels, and where they can find you on social media.
Sure, yep. So cjstandalproductions.com is the website they can go to, but they can also go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, any place that really sells any kind of books. You can kind of find my books there. As far as kind of social, you can find me on Facebook as CJ Standal, or on Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok every now and then at CJ_Standal. So that's kind of where you can find me. And then just kind of to bring it back to what you were saying right before that, I'm glad you're so excited and you've been so appreciative. And the next thing that I release, I'm reaching out to you guys. Definitely, I'm a big fan of your show, and I'm always really welcome whenever I've come on, and I really appreciate that.
100% CJ. I told Joe, I love all the guests we have on, except for two, but that doesn't matter. I love every guest we've had on, we've always had a blast with, and they're always welcome to come back. I loved when, I think it was shortly after you came on here, Cartoon Joe got you over on the Geekcast Live as well.
Yep.
I love hearing your interviews outside of this freaking show because I love hearing the other different perspectives and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything you do, just know it's amazing, and you got fans for life in me and Cartoon Joe. Even though Joe kind of just sat there in silence this whole time.
Yeah, sorry. Am I still silent? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Sorry, my little box isn't lighting up when I talk. We were talking about this before we brought you on. I've been waiting to see if my wife needs me to come pick her up, and so I've just been kind of like paying attention to that and listening.
I totally get that. Your calming presence has definitely helped me open up more and be a
good.
better guest.
I'm glad.
He's our live studio audience here.
Yeah, the peanut gallery.
Yeah, but CJ, again, welcome back anytime. I thank you for bringing us on your journey through this. It does mean a lot to us that you trusted us enough to keep coming back.
Yep, and I
don't
thank
know
you
why.
for sticking with me too the whole time.
It's been our pleasure, absolutely.
So we're gonna say goodbye to you. We're gonna wrap up the show, and it will be released for everyone to listen this Thursday, so the 23rd.
Perfect. Yep. I'll spread it out on social and retweet it and that stuff.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Thank you so
CJ,
much.
Yep.
You have a good night.
You too. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, man. I love CJ.
Me too. I feel really bad. I wasn't paying. I wasn't. It's not that I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't.
Here's the thing, Joe. Here's the thing. I talked the entire time.
Yeah, you did. It was fantastic.
And I did that for one of two reasons. One, because I knew that there would probably been a moment where you had to have been going.
Yep.
And two, I know half of the questions I asked you were probably going to ask anyways. And it gives you an opportunity to kind of like, enjoy our show from a listener's perspective.
Mm-hmm. And I did enjoy it. And, I really enjoyed this Act 4. If you get a chance to pick it up, please, as soon as possible. May 1st, obviously, he said, anywhere you can find books. And, use audibletrial.com/freaknet and, get yourself a free copy of, whatever he's got going on over there. So.
Exactly. CJ's one. I just can't believe that, like I said, he's been in contact with us, and we got, the updated, surprising scoops about even a potential movie.
Yeah.
We have been intertwined with each other since 2016. And that's one of the reasons I love doing this show, is because of things like that. And especially returning guests to not only, hear about their evolution, but to talk about their evolution. It's phenomenal. So now to turn a negative corner here. Let's talk about some things that need to get their shit together.
Oh yeah.
You want to go first, or you want me to go?
Why don't you go?
Excellent. And I wanted to wait till after we did the interview. That way, if people decide they want to listen to us anymore, they can turn it off. But I'm going to talk about one that is worldwide known. It's not going to be surprising, but it's going to be a little surprising that as far as I know, and my memory is shit, I don't believe we talked about this certain topic here yet this year, which it probably should have been week 1 discussion.
All right.
But, I went to McDonald's the other day, and I wanted to get a Shamrock Shake.
Oh, no.
And, Joe, do you believe I got that Shamrock Shake?
No.
Do you know why I didn't get that Shamrock Shake?
Well, I believe that what they told you was that the ice cream machine was broken.
Because the ice cream machine was fucking broken, man.
What I actually think is the truth, though, is that they just didn't want to make it for you.
Well, here's the thing. If that was true, then they had to have really committed to it, because I used the app. And every ice cream thing on the menu was unavailable.
All right, then.
I went through drive-thru, and I was like, I got a pickup order for Travis. Went around to the last window. I'm like, hey, is there any way I can add a Shamrock Shake onto my order? I was like, oh, I'm sorry, our ice cream machine's down. I looked this lady in the face as kind as I could. I'm like, I know you're lying. 'Cause I used to work at McDonald's myself. And she just stared at me like Like, what the fuck does that even mean? It didn't really mean anything other than the fact that, like, I know you're not telling me the truth. There's
Right.
either the machine, you just, you don't want to go back and fill the machine with more ice cream, or maybe you ran out of it, whatever the case is. I'm sick and tired of not being able, especially when there's something like the Shamrock Shakeout.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
limited edition. You can only get it, like during Lent.
Yeah. I hate the fact that is a thing. Like, oh, I'm sorry, our machine's down. Never has the machine ever had to be down to the point where you couldn't serve me a fucking ice cream or a milkshake. So that was up in my office. I did leave there. I got back into Piatone. I stopped over at my McDonald's and I got the shake because there was the chances that both ice cream machines are down. Luckily it wasn't. I was able to get my Shamrock Shake. Not the same as it was the year before.
Really?
Now here's the thing. I can't remember the last time Shamrock Shakes were out. I don't even know if they did Shamrock Shakes during the pandemic. I honestly cannot remember.
They must have done it at least 1 year during the pandemic, but I can't remember which one.
All I remember is the last time I had a Shamrock Shake, it was greener, it was mintier, it was delicious. Now, it could be a possibility. I'm not saying that the new Shamrock Shakes are fucked, but maybe they're low on the flavoring or whatever. All I know is McDonald's, regardless if you're running out of syrup in your machines or your machines aren't working at all, get your shit together and stop having a situation where the ice cream machine is down. I don't get it. The grills don't fucking fall apart that often. The fryers don't fall apart that often. Coffee maker seems to be running good. Your cash registers are fine. And those, I do honestly believe, are used and utilized more often than the fucking ice cream machine is. And yet for some reason, your ice cream machine seems to collapse on a whim every couple weeks. Get your shit together. Make sure the ice cream works properly. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. You know what? There is nothing, when you want ice cream, there is nothing that scratches the itch.
Yeah.
But ice cream. And, they should just not serve ice cream for how often the thing is broken.
Right? Oh, and do you know what they came out with this year, I think, compared to any other year?
What's that?
Shamrock McFlurry.
Sus.
Is
it just a thicker, it just has less milk in it?
It's I'm assuming it's a minty flavored ice cream with crushed Oreos in it. And I love mint Oreos.
Honestly, same.
And what does sus mean? I don't even know what does sus mean.
Suspicious.
Oh, okay. Honestly, so it's just exactly what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's from the game Among Us that came out during the pandemic. When you think that somebody's acting like they might be the imposter going around murdering people, you just say sus, like they're suspicious.
Is that Asian movie where everyone kept killing each other?
I
like to win money at the end of it?
Oh no, that was Squid Games.
Oh, was that a good movie?
I really enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think it was actually a show. It was like a 6-episode show, and I really liked it.
Gotcha. Well, what do you believe needs to get their shit together?
Yeah. I haven't really done a whole lot for the last couple of weeks, in terms of like buying things from places, or like interacting with businesses that need to get it together. So what I feel today needs to get it together is me. I need to get my shit together. I didn't work out yesterday, so I did double today, and so tomorrow's gonna really suck. I feel like I have, I've just been busy and unfocused and having trouble getting off of Twitter, even though I deleted the app from my phone. I just needed to get it together and start focusing on things that matter and getting myself together. I really have been thinking about it in the back of my head since the beginning of the show. But yeah, I mean, there's really no reason. I'm up at the very latest by 6 a.m. every morning. We don't walk out the door before 8. So that means I've got 2 hours to exercise or read or make some dinner for later or make my wife lunch. There's so many things I could be doing with those 2 hours. And most of the time what I do is I get on Twitter or I get on Facebook and I just read through whatever happened overnight. and whatever's happening like right now, because there's always, I start checking it about the same time everyone I follow gets up and starts tweeting.
Yeah.
And it's just stupid. There's I don't need to be on there. It doesn't improve my life to be on there for an extra 2 hours every day just because I got up and whatever. I need to get my shit together and just, I need to work out every day like I'm supposed to. I need to start probably eating a little bit better because I don't know. I think my calories are down. I'm not eating as much, but what I am eating, instead of having 3 meals a day, I'm often just having 2 meals, but my meals will be like a whole foot-long sandwich from Subway and then like a burger and fries and a shake for lunch.
Real quick, Joe, real quick.
Yeah.
When you talk about Subway, are you using it as an example or are you truly still eating Subway?
I'm mostly using it as an example, but I did have Subway for breakfast this morning.
Did you get a foot-long sandwich?
I did, with the on flatbread.
Was it $13 fucking?
Close. Well, it was $13 because I also got a coffee.
It blows my mind how expensive Subway is. I don't want to take away from your thing.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. It's gotten way expensive.
There has been days where I would leave work and there's a Subway on my way home. Like, I would really love to go get like a sub sandwich. A fresh, healthy fucking sub sandwich. But then I think about stuff like that fucking foot long, Italian or tuna or whatever the fuck it is gonna be anywhere from $11 to $13 fucking dollars.
Yep.
And I can't justify that knowing that not too long ago, $5 footlongs was a thing.
Yeah, it was $5 footlongs, then it was $6 footlongs, then it was just like footlongs or whatever they cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? While we're at it, Subway, get your shit together too.
There we go. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I'm not down on myself or anything. I'm feeling mostly good about myself, but I just, there's things that I need to improve. And I'm really happy that Lent starts tomorrow. So I've got a reason, actually to get my shit together and not be such a slouch.
Absolutely. Well, again, accountability is a huge thing. One of the biggest things I'm excited about is knowing that I'm finally getting into the rhythm of being up early in the morning. Actually earlier than expected because my whole thing is setting the alarm for 5:15. I've actually been waking up at 5:15. So,
nice.
I'm going to guess by next week. I want to see how Wednesday and Friday feel. But I've been consistently getting up early for the last few days. Without alarms, just naturally waking up. So, I feel like, once we hit, maybe next Monday, I should be good on that track to start moving my workouts to mornings.
Outstanding.
I have been doing them in the evenings and everything, which have been fine. But again, I think if I do it in the mornings, it'll kind of help me out a little bit better because obviously if I'm waking up early in the morning, like 4:45 and everything, I'm just going right back to bed. And then when I wake up at 6:15, I'm fucking deadbeat exhausted. If I stay up, maybe I'll be okay. So, I'm excited to do that, but that's why we're here to help each other stay accountable. That being said, what are you freaking thinking about?
I am freaking thinking about, so I've been trying to figure out a better way to do church for like distance people. I feel like the live stream just doesn't cut it,
Okay.
And part of that is because the views are down. I'm only getting like 2 or 3 views a week. So it's just my shut-ins basically, right? Or people who are sick or whatever. I'm not getting new views. And so what I've been thinking about is there a better way to do, a distance church experience? And so I've been taking a filmmaking course, a smartphone filmmaking course, online. And I've also been, probably one of my favorite, how do I want to put it? Presenters. My favorite people to watch for TV is Mr. Rogers. And so, one of my ideas with this is not just to have a church for adults where you can tune in and it's like a 20 to 45 minute show. But also like a 20-minute show for kids would be cool. And so I've been going back and I've been rewatching a lot of Mr. Rogers on Amazon Prime. And it's so good. It's so wholesome.
Does it hold up?
It holds up. It's wonderful. It sometimes makes me cry because it's still so good.
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's nice to have someone look you in the eyes, even though, they're both long dead and this was shot a long time ago. You know, but to have someone look you in the eyes and say, I like you just the way you are is just wonderful. It's just really nice. So, so I guess if I had to sum it up, I'm freaking thinking about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me, Easter's coming up soon.
I know. I've been thinking about that too.
New podcast, is supposed to start around then.
Yep. I got until April 9th.
Yeah, we should really figure that out.
Yeah.
But that's not what I've been freaking thinking about.
Yeah, what have you been freaking thinking about?
I've been trying, you know, we've been working on this whole, you know, better life, healthy lifestyle stuff and everything. And, I've been working a lot with fasting, experimenting, I guess, a lot with fasting and everything. And I'm worried that I'm getting really close to my fasting is almost becoming starvations.
Yeah.
And it worries me, because I don't want that to be the case. There's been times, and I think it's a benefit, but at the same time, not so much, that I find myself not eating for 18 to 20 hours. And it's not so much that I plan it, it just happens. Like I'll eat lunch at work, you know, maybe around like 11 o'clock, and I'll get so busy working, doing all whatever. And then all of a sudden I get home, I just want to lay down. I got my gallon jug, timed out daily water thing. I drink that and everything. I go to bed, and then I wake up at 6 a.m. realizing I haven't eaten since 11 a.m. the day before.
Woof.
You know, and I'm like, okay, I really should eat something. And so I got to do better with the fasting thing. Like, I'm fine with it. Like, I haven't gotten to the point where, like, I'm killing myself or I'm drained or, you know, like I'm just, you know, falling over from malnutrition or anything like that. I'm a big dude. There's a lot of me that could go away before that. But I just got to find a better way to, you know, do that. And I need to go shopping. I know I keep saying it. I gotta get out of my comfort zone, just sitting at home doing nothing. I need to go shopping, because I've just been eating pretty much, low carb. I've had a bunch of low carb tortillas, so I've been making a lot of, makeshift low carb pizzas, which basically just take a tortilla, put some sauce and mozzarella cheese on it, throw it in the air fryer. So like mini personalized pizzas that way, or quesadillas. And, it gets pretty boring pretty fucking quick.
Oh, so, yeah, I bet.
So I've been thinking like, okay, obviously I'm getting enough water, and I'm drinking about a gallon of water a day, which, is a lot more than I've ever done before. I haven't needed to piss so much in my life. And, I don't know the healthy color of pee. I know it's not supposed to be clear. I know it's not supposed to be fluorescent. So I think, but I got like that yellow hue, so I think that's been going okay.
Yeah, that seems good.
So I think I'm getting enough water into my system. I know that I've been feeling better waking up. I know that I don't feel as achy waking up. For some reason, I feel taller. I don't know why. I'm still too afraid to get onto the scale because I don't want it to still say error, like as we mentioned in the vlog and everything. But like I said, I'm getting to the point now after the training my body to wake up in the morning. It's been going good. So we're gonna still focus on keeping each other accountable. We're gonna still do the video vlogs and everything. Because like I said, I can't do this without you. You're my guy.
Oh, same.
So yeah. Hey Joe.
Yeah.
Every week our listeners catch Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show. But if an hour Cartoon Joe just isn't enough for our listeners, where can they go?
Well, I tell you, if you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live. I don't know where the accent came from. It just came.
Guys, make sure you do check out CJ Standal social media. Make sure you check out all his amazing books that have been released so far, including the new release coming out this May to wrap up Rebirth of the Gangster on there. Make sure you check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, just by searching This Freaking Show. Check out Freaknet Studios YouTube page. I'm happy. I'm gonna talk for Joe for a minute as well. We're excited that we keep getting new subscribers on a weekly basis. I love that we're getting, new views on a daily basis. And I do love, even though, even though some of it might be a little bit negative feedback, but feedback's always encouraged regardless. One of the biggest things that has been said to us on YouTube in the comments was the shaky camera. And I couldn't agree with more. They're absolutely right. We're going to get the equipment to prevent that from happening in our next series doing the cemetery vlogs. And one of the things, I guess, we moved too fast through the cemetery. So I guess we'll just take it a little bit slow next time. But comments, we like comments, we like likes. Please keep, subscribing and, hitting the notification bell on YouTube for the Freakin Studios. We have more videos coming out. We were supposed to do, I think, Burger King this past weekend, but with work, I just couldn't do it.
Same.
Joe, we'll make it up to them. Maybe we'll do 2 food videos or something, coming up or something like that, just to kind of balance it all out.
Oh, yeah.
How about Burger King and White Castle? Really fucking blow our assholes out.
Yes, just what I need.
So, no, we're going to get more videos out to you guys, obviously, because we want to get more content to you guys. So make sure you do check that out. And, of course, you can find our show wherever you do listen to your podcast, whether it be on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Player FM, wherever you get your podcast. Check us out. Make sure you subscribe. Rate us, hit the notification bell so you know when our shows are released. Guys, that's all I got. As always, I am Travis.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freakin' Show. I'm out.